Hi everyone, this is Amee from Speak with Amee. I have with me the world champion of public speaking 1995, Mr. Mark Brown. Hi Mark, so
Hi,
good to
Amee.
see you.
Good to be here with you
And
today.
we are here at Eloquence 2025 in Jaipur. I have some questions to ask you,
Sure.
and it's a privilege meeting you, learning from you, and being here. So, my first question here for the audience would be, what was the turning point that made you pursue public speaking?
Interesting. I became a Toastmaster because I was inspired by my uncle. My uncle is a late Supreme Court judge in my home country of Jamaica. He was the first Toastmaster in Jamaica. He brought the program to Jamaica in 1984, 85. And I was living in New York. He came to visit one day and I saw a Toastmasters pin. When he explained what it was about, I thought it was cool until I went to work at Reader's Digest in New York.
Wow.
And I found out the second day I was there, he had a Toastmasters club. And my thought was, if my uncle can do it, I can do it too. And that began my journey with Toastmasters, inspired by somebody I knew, which is important to your audience because if you find a program like Toastmasters that works for you, I inspire you, I encourage you to invite someone to enjoy the benefits of learning to be a good communicator and join a Toastmasters club with you as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that answer. I myself, I'm Toastmaster, and there's so much I have learned in this journey. Now, there's one problem which I see a younger generation today, or everyone suffering from public speaking, which is a mindset shift, the inner communication.
Well, first of all, the Toastmasters program is an ongoing program. I've been a member since 1993, which is 32 years, which means I'm old. But the program helps you to understand how to use your voice, how to formulate a presentation, how to compile your thoughts in a meaningful, cohesive, and persuasive way. Because now young people today don't always go through the process of going to college for 4 years and getting a degree, then a master's degree. Many are now influencers, entrepreneurs, and very young age, they have to sell their ideas. They have to influence others in a communication style that works. Here's the big mindset shift for all of us. We now have cross-generational communication, where some of the older folks, boomers like me, are accustomed to using our language to communicate. Many young people use their devices to communicate. If we can learn to bridge that gap and be able to communicate across generational, racial, ethnic, and cultural boundaries, then that gives you the advantage so you can function effectively in every area of the world. But the mindset shift has to be, I still need the skill of personal one-on-one communication. This is great, but AI and Siri can't do it for you. You need to learn to communicate effectively one-on-one with people of all generations, of all ethnic backgrounds, because the world is shrinking. We can all reach each other with effective communication skills.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Another one question would be, what did your speech have that others didn't?
Well, I don't really assess my speech in terms of it was better because, but I believe my speech was effective because my content and message was relevant in 1995. The good news and the bad news is it is relevant today. It's always great to have a speech that has a long shelf life, I call it. It's relevant over time. Unfortunately, the topic I discussed, our attitudes towards those who are different, to be more tolerant, more respectful, to be more willing to accept those who are different, is still a valid message today. So the general thought is, if your presentation has universal appeal across different continents, across different countries, if it appeals to the human condition, then your message will be long-lasting. The key is to craft that message in a way that the audience can receive it, respond to it, and then act upon it. And thankfully, after 30 years, people are still responding to that message.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful message. Now, one thing I also see people suffering from the moment they come on the stage, even if you're a coach, you're scared to go on that stage, and there is this word fear. So, how do you handle the fear, the nerves of getting on the stage or speaking?
Well, I think the only time I get nervous is if I'm unprepared. The key is to be so prepared, and for me, the mindset is not, oh my gosh, I have to go on stage. For me, it's, oh my goodness, I get to go on stage. I've invested time and effort to prepare a presentation I believe will hold value for the audience. So my mindset is, I can't wait to give them this gift. I really believe I can serve them and I can help them. So there's no fear there. There is eager anticipation. There is excitement. There is a yearning. There is a desire to give the audience this gift, which I truly believe will serve them. And people say, well, there's a fear of public speaking. Let me address quickly the fear of public speaking. I submit, Amee, that there is no such thing as a fear of public speaking. It's a fear of public embarrassment. What will they think of me? Is my hair in the right place? Now, not my problem. But will they look at my clothes? Will I sound too speaky? Trust me, if an audience shows up to hear you, they want to hear you. Your audience doesn't want you to fail. They want you to succeed because they want to hear and learn from you. It's not a fear of speaking, it's a fear of being judged. But if you're prepared and your heart's in the right place, remember, they are there to hear you and they want to be there. That's another mindset shift, Amee. If we can all adapt, we'll approach the project and the speech in a different way, and that way we're more eager and happy to deliver it.
Wow, what a powerful message. So the mindset shift is all about preparation, that inner work that you do. Now, when we talk about preparation,
Yes.
can you just tell us 3 important tips on preparing, especially for a newcomer or a college-going graduate?
Well, first
which
of
can
all,
help?
be very clear on the message you want to deliver. Do not understand you're just to stand there or to just talk about, anything. But if you should have a specific goal in mind. I would like to share this particular message. It's always helpful to find a story from your life that supports that message. And we actually have more stories than we know. If we think about the photographs in our mobile device, the photographs tell stories. Think about your family, think about your experience at school if you're a student. What did you learn during your school life that you can share with the audience? So be very clear on your message. Find the right appropriate stories that will convey the message, and make sure that as you structure your presentation, it's clearly, I'm going to open with this idea, I want to make this point, I will support that point, and in the end, I may recap what I said, and then conclude in a way, what we call a CTA, or a call to action. What do you want your audience to do with your words? So give them something to do, and ideally, should be something you can do immediately. It's actionable. It shouldn't take them 6 months. You can do it that day or the day of the next day. It could be as simple as, for you to really educate yourself on this topic, I recommend you read this book. Start reading this book tonight.
Yeah.
Or if you need to mend a relationship, make that phone call today. The call to action should be actionable and immediate. That's key. So make sure you know what the topic is, have good stories, structure it well so it flows, and always leave the audience something of value in that call to action.
Awesome, thank you. So add that story, be clear about the message, and take that call to action. You are doing one-on-one conversation or you're in a group. How do you structure your thoughts?
Your thoughts, that's why it's helpful to actually write down what I want the audience to hear from me. Depending on your level of experience, please know one important truth. You cannot tell the audience everything you know in 5 minutes or 7 minutes. So considering the audience, the purpose and intent of your presentation, ask yourself, what does the audience need to know about this particular topic? And you find the most important information and leave that with them. And organize the thoughts you have around that one particular point. Now, keynote speakers will do 45 to 60 minutes. They may have 3 points of wisdom.
Right.
However, if you have one key point you want to make, leave that one. A mistake many speakers make, Amee, they try to cram everything they know into one short speech, and they give the audience 9 points. It's too much. What's important to them now, I'll dive deeply on that, give one example, and leave that. Keep your thoughts flowing in a sequence. Make notes, write it down, and walk through. Does that flow logically? If it does not, you may move something to a different place so the flow is logical. It sounds simple, but it takes some work. Trust me, over 30 years of doing this, I think I'm finally getting it right.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all the tips that you shared. And one last question would
Sure.
be, public speaking transformed your life personally, professionally? Any message as a world champion? Because see, people really look upon when you're leaders, when you're world champion, there is a different label to it.
Yeah, that's
There is a
true.
different way which people portray, and everybody wants to be there. There are times you can, there are times you can't. But you're all doing your best. So what would be your message here?
For me, how did it transform my life? It did. I used to be an old school mainframe computer programmer back in the 1990s when I won the World Championship. For those who were millennials or younger, look up what mainframe programming is all about. It's an old process, hardly used anywhere in the world. But when I joined Toastmasters, entered the contest, and won the contest, it literally changed my life. I no longer work with computers. I've been full-time speaking since the mid-1990s, and I get to share my message with the world. It does not mean, however, I stop learning, because I believe if I stop learning, I stop living. As a full-time professional speaking coach to CEOs all over the world, I still learn new ideas and concepts and techniques that I then pass on to them. For the person who says, oh my goodness, I can't be a world champion, focus less on the idea of a title. How can you build your communication skills to be effective, to stand out, to be the individual people go to, who they can trust, who they can depend on, to communicate clearly, to share ideas, to share concepts, to be influential, persuasive, and also to be the one who can create the voice of reason when the need arises. We all have the responsibility to develop our communication skills, because you never know when you or I find ourselves in a place where that skill is just what we need to serve a client, serve a family member, to resolve a difficult conflict, or to make someone's life better. I encourage you all, build this skill. It'll transform your life and give you more influence than you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a real powerful message. Build your skill and transform yourself. One last thing I would like to ask you is, yes, Toastmasters is a great platform to move ahead. And this is just in the book that I am writing.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you how they can start this journey.
Well, first of all, you mentioned Toastmasters. There are clubs all over the world.
Right.
As far as other resources, now you know, Amee, that I co-wrote a book called Deliver Unforgettable Presentations. It's available on Amazon. It costs US $20. And you have your own copy, I know, Amee, somewhere you can show the audience.
Yeah,
But I co-authored this book with a fellow world champion, Darren LaCroix, and Patricia Fripp, who's a legend in the professional speaking world in North America. And this book uses some simple techniques for writing your own speech as well. But do not discount the value of continuing to educate yourself. Watch TEDx talks, read blogs, listen to podcasts. I have a podcast called The Unforgettable Presentations Podcast. It's available on every platform. It's a free podcast. We have 300 episodes about all things speaking, from platform skills to writing to what you do as a professional. And again, it's a free podcast. Anyone can listen to it. You listen to it as well.
I listen to it and I love it.
So these are simple tools that you can get. And I say, look, just watch good speakers. Look at what they do well and learn from them also. These are resources, but it takes your own effort, your own decision. And the Toastmasters Club is a really great place to practice, because you have a live audience, you get instant feedback, and you can learn and grow. The idea of personal growth in communication will never steer you away.
All right, with this, thank you so much for your time, Mark.
My
It was a
pleasure.
privilege meeting you, learning from you, and I'm sure this is really going to help all our audience in there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.